Oh, lovely. You're right, mate. Oh, something underneath the tattoo.
This crude tattoo partially covers as slave branding.
Oh, this guy used to be a slave.
This golden handle has a bloodstain on it. The dagger is heavy and sharp, but lacks balance.
Hmm.
This worm-like sigil has been drawn with his own blood. The wound is deep. A precise strike reached the heart.
Shot to the heart. Oh, he got hit in the head first, though.
A blunt force trauma may have suffered an internal hemorrhage.
Yeah, so he's knocked out. Oop.
The victim has clenched the fabric so firmly in his fist that it's nigh impossible to remove it. He died right here.
Yeah, no shit, he died right here. Oh. Werner?
The sign reminds me of the astrological symbol for Mars.
These crime scenes always
Maybe.
outdo my imagination.
This elaborate box must be for the ritual dagger.
I mean, he was stabbed in the heart, so I was like, shot to the heart, you
The
know?
herbs here are
Don't hurt
Salvia
me.
divinorum. They have a slight hallucinogenic effect to emphasize the ceremony. The ointment smells mouse-like. I presume it is an aphrodisiac prepared from a Spanish fly. This oil has a slight aroma of flowers and olive.
Oh, really? He must be super honored to have a rest stop named after him.
Werner, care to explain what is going on here?
On nights like these, it's not unusual for some attendees to get a little exuberant.
Still a rest
It's
stop,
part of the
Aaron.
appeal. Unfortunately, it appears things have gotten out of hand. Yes, some are more prone to bend the rules of morality.
That's murder. I doubt there's anything left to bend. Why did you not tell me immediately? We were chatting about trivial matters for some time.
If I'm completely honest, Sherlock, I've consumed a rather potent cocktail of substances. My attention slips and drifts. But I'm glad I thought to call for you.
You sent me a disguise.
Oh dear, did I? Well, since I found the
We're
body,
wearing
Mr.
it.
Manchios has agreed that you can investigate the matter. I promise my mind will behave itself going forward.
All right. Pull yourself together, Werner. What is it about these nights that you were so eager to share with me?
Well, they're not always in the evenings, but they are in the shadows. People gather to test their boundaries in a safe and consensual atmosphere, often with more stains than your typical crime scene. But that is the point. Who are we to judge?
I suppose that's fair. What about today, then? Was anything different?
Except for the
Well,
dead
I
body.
was invited as a special guest. It was supposed to be a time of both divine and carnal pleasures. A scratch for every unconventional itch.
I imagine you're reeling from your shattered expectations.
On the contrary, there is still spectacle, stimulation, and release, merely in a different form. I like to let life entertain me.
Or death.
Hmm.
Mr. Manchios is the owner of the manor, yes?
And the host
Manchos.
of Cordona's most memorable parties. He promises even the ugliest guest a partner for the night. And for the ones with more unconventional tastes, Mr. Manchios provides other services.
What a caring person.
You cannot begin to imagine.
Why can't they, like, name the... I'm sorry, back on the thing with the rest stops. Like, name a school after him or a library, but a rest stop? Hmm.
How did you discover the body? In between guzzles of alcohol?
I was set to perform in a fecundity rite with Fabio and came to inquire further. It was a staged ritual where he was to play the principle of life.
And the rehearsal was unsuccessful?
Huh, who knows? I found him alone on the altar, his blood dripping to the floor.
And then?
Then I called Mr. Manchios. He was panicking, so I told him about you. We left the room and locked the door.
And you just kept partying until we got
were-
here.
Filling time?
Waiting for you was stressful. We indulged in some simple comforts. Overindulged, perhaps.
Were you well acquainted with Fabio, the victim?
Everyone knew Fabio, or wanted to. His beauty was the talk of the island. Too handsome to go unnoticed. He was magnetic. Fat wallets fought for the privilege of having him. He offered the pleasures of performance and more.
Oh, the freaking Fabio name reminds me of the Joe Wilkinson skit from 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown.
What about the fertility ritual? There was something about Fabio being a principle of life.
Fabio was supposed to portray the beauty of life's origin. Flowers, oil. Not this travesty that seems straight out of the Inquisition.
So this ritual is not the fertility rite. What was it meant to look like?
It begins with a woman lying naked in a flower bed on the altar. She
Okay.
represents Gaia, the earth. As I cover her in oils, we chant for the principle. As our calls reach a climax, Fabio enters and copulates with her.
Oh,
After he finishes, I stab her with a dagger. That part's just pretend, of course.
But the intercourse is not?
probably
I
not.
did not expect you to be such a prude. Are you a virgin? It is nothing to be ashamed of, but it would explain the color of your cheeks.
Jesus.
The fertility rite marks the start of our festivities. The principle of life is beautiful, intimate, essential. It must not be stopped.
Yet it appears that someone did stop it. What about the naked woman? Can you tell me anything about her?
Oh yes, Matista. She's one of Fabio's compatriots and a performer too. I haven't seen her today, actually.
When you discovered the body, was the door open?
No, it was locked. Oh, that reminds me. It's a minor detail, but the first time I came to speak to Fabio, I left without entering, having been unable to open the door.
You didn't have the key?
No, I had it. Don't look at me like that. I was mostly sober. I suspect there was a key in the other side of the door, blocking the lock.
That detail may very well be major, Werner. Well done. So you returned later, only to find the lock was not blocked.
Correct. After an hour had passed, I tried again and was able to unlock the door. That's when I discovered poor, handsome Fabio.
The police remain unaware of this tragic event?
Some of them may be hiding behind their masks. They conceal many things. But we didn't want the authorities to create more problems. Besides, after a few cocktails, their incompetence will have soared to new heights.
How do
Gotcha.
you know I even want the case?
I promised you relaxation. If there's one thing I know about you, Sherlock, it's that nothing soothes you more than a good mystery.
Okay.
The sign reminds me of the astrological symbol for Mars.
Anything back here? Oh, he was sacrificing the altar during an occult ritual. Well, at least it appears that way. Yeah, what's over here? Oh, hello. Bloody handprint, which I couldn't interact with.
Enough cigars to burn down the entire mansion. Why don't people tidy up after themselves?
Oh, someone got spanked. Oh my. That's scandalous. Is that wine or blood?
An open wound spoiled the carpet. Blood.
Ah, he
Sturdy
was hit in the
bottle, but
head.
Not so sturdy human. It didn't break only because it was unopened.
Yeah, so the pressure on the inside kept it, made it more solid. That's the blunt force trauma that we saw in Fabio's head. Okay.
Identical to the robes the guests are wearing.
Someone wash their hands after the incident?
The pitcher is empty, but with puddles around it. Blood clots are adhered to the sides of the drain.
Yeah, so we washed up after the incident. And snuck out wearing one of the visitors' outfits.
This is a different ritual.
Found a scenario of some sort of a ritual that, with a remark written in the beginning. It says, read and rehearse, right. Antios. The naked woman lies on the altar on the bed of flowers, symbolizing the guy. Yeah. Then the man who's impersonating the principle of life may come to engage in sexual congress with her. Yeah, this is the one he told us about. Don't ignore the guests. Anista? Yeah. And stop boring them. They don't want to hear about your stupidities. They want to feel how beautiful they are and how generous you can be towards them. You're here to please and celebrate life. Remember, each guest paid a great deal of money to be with you. Oh.
How can anyone accept such behavior?
A useful tool for a disguise arsenal.
My Fabio.
Handcrafted and luxurious cufflinks. There's also a note. For my Fabio, Banchos. The key is similar to the one that Vogel gave me.
Yeah, this one's got an F on it for
The
Fabio, I'm
capital F
guessing.
on the key fob might refer to Fabio.
Would you recognize me in one of these? I suppose not.
Mm-hmm. Look out.
Props, decorations, and tools for a more detailed set.
Oh, hello.
Similar to the guests' robes, apart from the bloodstains.
Oh, naturally.
Similar to the guests'
I was
robes,
thinking we maybe interact with them and pick them up. Okay. Oh, hang on. Yeah, now we can interact with the handprint.
A person leaned against the doorframe. They left a smudged trail of blood. The wounded person was here for some time. A bloody handprint on an armchair. There appear to be no further traces leading to the altar.
So, Sherry, do you have any ideas about the case?
Perhaps, perhaps. I think I can deduce what happened here.
Hmm. Alright, so Fabio got hit over the head with a bottle. Go through these and see if there's any other ones. No. Smack. No, I think that makes more sense, him dragging him along. No, you definitely stabbed. We didn't see any bruising on the neck. There we go. Let's
The bottle
try.
was used as a weapon during a scuffle in the smoking lounge. Then, to ensure no one would interrupt, the murderer locked the door. The unconscious body of the victim was moved to the altar room. Once the body was on the altar, the murderer thrust the dagger into the victim's heart. Symbols were drawn with the blood. The wardrobe was used to hide the bloodied robe from anyone's eyes. The killer washed himself and took a clean robe from the hanger before leaving.
Are you all right? You're on the floor, not moving.
I think I know what happened here.
You. Murderer was in possession of a key to the altar room and locked the door. Fabio was killed in a ritual murder. I think it was a cover. We haven't seen anything to, you know, say anything otherwise.
I'm starting to put the pieces together.
Fabio was stabbed.
I see nothing gets past you, Werner. Yes,
Right?
he was stabbed, but only after being knocked out in the next room and placed here. I do not yet know why.
So, who's responsible?
Well, it was one person working alone, and the murderer has now donned a robe. He or she could be hiding in plain sight. We have lost time, Werner, but your discretion may prove to be a benediction after all. The murderer had to have access to this room. After the crime, he used his own key to lock the door. So, who had the key to the altar room?
I'm not sure. As a special guest, I was provided one by Mr. Manchios. He should be able to tell you of any others.
Where can I find him?
Most likely in the main hall, entertaining his guests. He has a mask with golden stars. You can't miss him.
Like
Please
John
be
Bowie.
discreet.
Oh.
We don't want to risk
John Bowie,
disturbing
but
the revelry.
Bon Jovi. Jesus Christ. Words.
I know you can untangle this mess.
Looking for the guy with the gold star on his mask. Hang on, probably got to switch to the right one, right? Tense and brittle.
Kurt Manchios, I presume. I'm Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, you must be the one Werner told me about. What a sweet voice you have. It must belong to
Oh,
a
no.
handsome young man. Can I call you Sherlock?
As you wish, Mr. Manchios.
Now I could stop you if I wanted
Mr.
to.
Vogel asked me to help you. The body in the altar room requires answers, and quickly. I suspect the murderer to still be here.
What? Lower your voice. I don't want anyone to hear us.
Did you know Fabio well?
People are starting to look at us, Sherlock. Change the subject. I can't believe what happened to him. To me. Such an atrocity.
Oh yeah, poor
Think of
you.
what it means for me. A wonderful evening for so many good, influential, and rich people has been ruined. I have betrayed all my promises of exotic delights.
I don't understand. Surely a murder would affect your reputation to a greater extent.
Please, isn't this why you are here? I thought you were a silent magician. Do your tricks and make it go away.
Jesus Christ.
I need to find all those who had the key to the altar room. As far as I know, Mr. Vogel, Fabio, and you had access to it. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes. Also, Matista and Santos.
Who's Santos?
Who is that?
Santos Pinchetti, my major domo. In his opinion, at least.
The hell's a major domo?
I'd like to speak to Mr. Pinchetti and Matista. Do you have somewhere I might have a private conversation with them?
Of course, of course. Let me think. Matista is entertaining the guests somewhere, and Santos, oh yes, he will be busy with the servants. Or the cook. What's that noise? What's going on? Freeze, filth. You're under arrest.
Oh, it's a raid? FBI, open up! What the fuck? Why is he getting smart to kick down the stairs? What? He's about to get hit over the head. And there's me, arrested. Fucking hell. I'm guessing the murderer rang this in so you could get away.
Committed a crime, and now I have to free you, kiss your hand, and apologize for the inconvenience. Your Grace.
I did tell you that Mr. Vogel and I were innocent. I emphasized it in my statement.
Your statement? Thanks to some bigwigs who work for the so-called good of the country by releasing fleas like you. Thank God we have Vogel in this letter. Once I get to that goldfish, I'll...
Bigwig? Ah, my wretched brother Mycroft and his long nose.
Wait, did you say Mycroft? Mycroft Holmes? Are you the youngest son of Violet Holmes, rest her soul?
That face must blocking you.
You knew my mother?
Not personally, no. Not exactly. I was working on the paperwork for that case.
Would you happen to remember anything of the events?
Well, I didn't make the inquiry, but I remember seeing some notes. Why?
Perhaps we can negotiate. I could be quite useful.
Huh. Got you hooked, right? You know what? Stark and the others think they're the smartest here, thanks to you. Let me get this straight. Are you listening to me, lad?
I'm all ears.
Take this case. Report to me only, to Constable Harvey Oswald. I'll leave everything I have on this table. Find the murderer. Be a real copper. Question the suspects, make them sing, give me something substantial.
And if Mr. Vogel is not a suspect?
If he's innocent, then you can take your favourite degenerate away from here. If you slip or mess with the evidence, then trust me, your brother won't save you from my bludgeon. Meanwhile, I'll be checking the archive for you. If anybody asks, then you're a consulting detective.
Let's make a start then, partner.
Oh, Lord.
I'm glad we managed to get the scoop before the raid.
According to the report from a witness, I'm guessing that would be the guy who actually committed the murder. Claim to have found a body, the raid on the Trust mansion was granted. It has resulted in the arrest of multiple suspects and dispersal of a group in masks and robes caught in the act of gross indecencies and unnatural behavior. Apparently they'd never been to an orgy before. The body of the victim was found lying on an altar with a knife wound in his chest. The officers identified the victim, Fabio, 20, a local performer and artist. Suspect arrested, V. Vogel. A letter of an insulting nature and possession, which had been written by the victim. He claims to have found it on the body. He never gave me any. Okay. Yeah. He never gave me any letter. He's an infamous for his eccentric personality. S. Holmes carried a murder weapon, a dagger with the victim's blood, the other evidence, yada yada. The owner of the mansion, the organizers of the satanic party, paid the victim to participate here. Minister, Fabio's partner and participant in the ritual, tried to escape, resisted arrest, owned a book with descriptions of the ritual performed on the altar. Cool.
Back on track to solve the case.
That's a thick old file right there. I, Santos Pinchetti, am a witness who reported a suspicious of murder. Oh, so it might be Mr. Panchetti. During the preparation of the social party, I heard loud noises from the closed altar room. Immediately, I thought of the sacrifice of a living being, overviewed by none other than Kurt Mantios. There was blood on the walls, strange symbols, a dagger in his heart. He couldn't have seen that unless he gotten in there. Yep. I have a primary suspect right there. Writer of this ticket has permission to inspect all evidence. Oh, case number 6260. Can we swap out of this goofy looking outfit? I can't change clothes here. God. Chetty is a suspect who should be arrested and questioned. He had a key in which he did not mention. Yeah, in deposition, sorry. You got a lot of instruments in this place, huh?
Look, I found Werner.
I can change clothes, thank God. Mon Dieu. Monsieur Vogel, you have some questions I need answers to.
Werner, are you all right?
Oh, yes, yes. Everything's fine. In fact, it's something of a family reunion. My brother spent quite some time in this place himself.
You should not be here. I told the police everything I knew, but they refused to let you go. They require proof to free you.
Ha! What did you expect? The mighty Sherlock Holmes swans in, tells the officers what to think, and the world obeys?
Of course not. Anyway, I struck a deal with the constable, and I've got a free hand in the investigation. I find proof to solve the case for him. He obtains files about my mother's death for me.
Well done. If one has the power or will and can act, then one must. I wonder, suppose you couldn't get the proof to your truth. Would you tell a lie to the guard that enabled my freedom, knowing my innocence? Would that not be just?
There are lines I will not cross, Werner. I will do my best to secure your release, but with proof, not deception.
Really? How many white lies have you told on this island? Why not for me? Why not another?
That is absurd. I can resolve this without compromises. Do not give up hope.
Here's the thing. We learned that Otto Richter's brother had changed his name away from Klaus. We also know that Otto Richter's brother Klaus was a big fan of the art gallery. And that Otto Richter was, sent to jail. I'm thinking Werner Vogel might actually be Klaus Richter. He owns an art gallery, he really loves that. He said his brother spent a lot of time down here.
I'm not supposed to know anything about this. I don't think I can tell you anything about this.
I have learned who told the police about the crime. It was Santos Pinchetti,
Do I know him?
the major domo of the manor. He cleans up after you.
Well, then he does his job perfectly. All but invisible. I couldn't tell you the first thing about him.
Okay, that's completely useless. We don't get the question about the letter? Hold up.
I know you can untangle this mess.
Yeah, I think he may be Klaus Richter. Which would explain why he has such a keen interest in our mother's case. Who are you?
I'm Sherlock Holmes. I'm helping
Oh, you
Constable
Mr.
Oswald. You are Matista.
Batista, sorry, whatever.
This body, yes, it's Matista. But it's a mere shell that will die someday. Just like Fabio.
Oh, how lovely and morbid.
Please accept my condolences for your friend.
Thank you.
I'm just here to ask questions and find Fabio's murderer.
It will not bring Fabio back.
Inks herself. She wears the same color lipstick. Nervous. Oh, self-inflicted cuts. Well. Old and barely visible. That might be from chains. And Fabio had a slave mark on him. So maybe she used to be one as well. Ah, yeah, there it is, slave brand. That's how they know each other. Poor girl. I think she is disassociated from her body in a way. I don't think she punishes herself for her past. Yeah. It seems to be pragmatic about her body after years of abuse. That's the one I think it is, yeah.
You have both old and new scars. Some from the time when you were a slave with Fabio. Other scars have a different origin. The guests pay good money to torment you?
I am skilled in giving pleasure, but I don't participate in such practices.
I thought your body was...
For sale? It's true. Many unwanted things were done to
Oh,
my
so I was
body,
wrong.
and the pain helped me to discover...
Occult deities? Yes, the tattoo speaks loudly of it.
Yes. Your gods abandoned me, and the ones I favor now are more protective of me.
How did you escape?
Something happened. One night the master fell down the stairs. I made him fall, and he died.
Good for
We ran
you.
away that day. We managed to get on a ship and traveled here, to Gordona. Fabio and I started a new life here. It was very hard at first, but it became better with time. Until today.
The bruises on your neck are not self-inflicted. Someone else made them.
Some guests can't contain themselves. They even bite, sometimes.
In the fight and the smoking lot, yeah. Fabio bruised Marista. I think she was bruised by Geth, but we can always change this one. Yeah. I feel like he was all they like kind of had left. Yeah, we need to speak to Mr. Manchester again about those cufflinks. Is he in here? Is that him?
Good day, Mr. Manchios.
Yeah.
I am Constable Oswald's partner in this investigation.
Be quick and gentle. Some of your colleagues are untrained boors. Although I don't mind meeting young officers.
Jesus.
Blood here.
If you cooperate in finding Fabio's murderer, there will be no need to meet with the Boers again.
That voice. Werner's friend? You're the policeman. What a disappointment.
Only an undercover agent can scour a ditch full of deviants. I am a consulting detective, although I'm capable of replacing the entire department through my consultations.
Sharp-tongued, I like it. May I